Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Aquarius energy. For this sequence of 12 zodiac sign readings, I'm almost at the end of it. I've been using the Kipper deck just to kind of get a little different spin on what might be going on out there. And with bottom of the reading is concern. We have bad health, message, privileged lady, mature woman, and concern. Concern. The community is talking behind closed doors. They could be concerned that people are talking about them. They also, within themselves, could be keeping things that they're thinking and working on within their own foundation that they're keeping behind closed doors. They might be afraid that people are trying to come to a determination. Maybe they're trying to come to a determination. Maybe emotionally, they could be choosing between two people, or they're trying to determine which emotional aspect of themselves will they align with. Do they mature and decide to give birth to a new way of life, the way they think, the way they feel? Will they decide that, a lot of the themes in the tarot is about, people either pick worldliness or they pick hope and faith and belief and love. So if otherwise, the other choice is, do I continue to be emotionally focused on my image, my reputation, wanting to be surrounded by luxury in life, money and materialism? Is that the emotional side I'm going to align with? Do we align with worldliness, kind of selfishness, greed, shallowness? Or do we align with love and hope and faith? And that would maybe affect, if they have people outside of them, it could decide which relationship they would get themselves into. And the courthouse and despair and lovers. Could be concerned that the community is talking about them. They might feel they need to make a decision, but they're really torn about what is their love. Gemini energy is our air sign energy about love and manifesting, and it's a dualistic sign. Again, are we going to manifest from fear and insecurity and make it all about 3D, or are we going to manifest from love? Do we believe we can manifest our dreams, or do we feel we have to get in a relationship for security and stability because we don't think that we can manifest our dreams into reality? The idea of the gift card being next, well, on one hand, you're going to learn lessons either way. That's kind of the gift of the universe. You know, you're going to learn lessons whichever one you pick. The universe is going to try to help you understand yourself better, what you value, if you value yourself, what you think is valuable. You have free will. You can create your life the way you want. So, either way, you're going to learn some lessons, but maybe there's a false person in your life who's offering you something shiny to get you in a relationship with them. Or you could be the main person in their life. And things could change, they promise. They could give you unexpected income, and your sense of poverty would turn you into the wealthy person, male or female. It's like our own fears and insecurities lie to us saying, oh, we can have it all if we do this, if we do that. Just exchange your foundation. Instead of working from love, come on over here, you poor impoverished soul. We'll make you a wealthy person. But, of course, the devil on our shoulder always lies. Unless you put in the hard work and effort, it's not going to work. It takes hard work and effort to get yourself stable and balanced and learn how to love and appreciate yourself. So let's see what's going on in Aquarius energy. So, bad health. Somebody could have exchanged resources with someone who promised them the world. Kind of like your shadow side creates an illusion. Your fear, your insecurity, your pride, your ego, worldliness. And they had put in work and effort towards that. And it maybe ended up in bad health. You know, if you're kind of getting in relationships from fear, insecurity, pride, ego, selfishness, greed, yeah, you know, it's like your body knows that that isn't honest, it's not acting with character and integrity, and all that stuff will start to bubble up within you and manifest in other ways. The message is being defensive to the truth. Well, I guess for some of these people, it's, well, we'll read it first from the negative people kind of in shadowy Aquarius energy where, you know, positive Aquarius energy is seeing things from the bigger picture, having hope and faith and belief and willing to step out of the box of societal norms to bring about needed change in society. And if these people have been in shadowy Aquarius energy, it was kind of all about them looking like the shining star. And they could have made some very selfish, hurtful decisions in their life because it's all about them. They didn't make decisions that were best for the other people in their life that maybe even loved them and cared for them because they wanted to be the shining star. They wanted it all to be about them. And if people weren't willing to make it all about them, then they let those relationships go. Maybe got in other relationships where they would look like they were the victor and they were successful. And maybe it's all about image and status and reputation. And they could be defensive to seeing the truth of that. It's kind of hard to look at yourself in the mirror, you know? And so, privileged lady. Ooh, a lot of swords energy there. Well, I kind of look at the privileged lady as kind of being like the Empress card, and that is Libra, air sign, sword energy, and Taurus, which is earth sign energy. And in a shadowy manner, that can be about wanting to be the privileged person in a relationship, like the shining star, or wanting to be surrounded by luxuries in life. So, if this person is defensive to the truth, they could make an emotional offer to someone who, in their energy, I don't know what they would be. If they would be in positive, loving energy and they're just very stable and abundant, or if they are in shadowy energy, I don't know. But they seem to be someone who has stability and abundance about them. And this person is thinking that they're going to make an offer to that person because they're living more from their mind than their heart. Even though they could be really stressed out and afraid that getting in a relationship with this person will end up backstabbing themselves, or that it could end really painfully. They might decide to do it anyway. Queen of Wands. Why? Because in shadowy Aquarius energy, they have decided they are going to try to emotionally manipulate this person because they have a lot of fear and insecurities of, I don't know, they completely listen to their mind, I guess. You know, they don't listen to their heart. They are just too overwhelmed by their thoughts, their stress, their anxiety. Okay, so tell us about the mature woman. And again, that's just somebody being depicted as their inner state as being emotionally mature, male or female. Maybe they're thinking of making an offer to this person, kind of going this direction, because this person has a lot of stress and anxiety about moving forward in their life. So instead of going towards the mature woman, so they've decided to kind of align with their own materialistic self because they have a lot of fear and insecurity and they backstab themselves. So that's the relationship and the type of person they're going to get in a relationship with. And they will not be moving forward with their own mature, emotionally mature self. And anyone outside of themselves that they had the possibility of being in a relationship with that is emotionally mature, that they won't be in a relationship with that person either. That emotionally mature person is someone who, in the Virgo energy, has gone within to gain insight and wisdom about the past. And they do have that inner youthful, hopeful, believing nature. And if they were to move forward with someone like that, they would have to do this also. And they'd have to be willing to let down their old foundations, their old ways of thinking, feeling, perceiving themselves in the world that has them in such fear and insecurity and defensiveness and being emotionally manipulative. They'd have to take the lessons that they've learned from the past. We're not supposed to live in a constant state of fear and insecurity of being backstabbed or total stress and anxiety. That's not good for our health, which is why they're in bad health. But if they don't realize that's why they're in bad health, so long as they don't see the truth and they're living in denial of the truth because they're defensive to the truth, they will keep thinking, if I have enough stability and security in my life, I won't have that stress and anxiety. But they're wrong. They have to emotionally connect in with themselves. Learn the lessons they were supposed to learn. Go within, soul search, gain some insight and wisdom about the past, and look at some of the things you had wanted to look at about yourself. Figure out why you're so stressed and worried, and actually take them down one by one and figure out who in the heck put those thoughts in your head. Did you put that thought in your head when you were 8? Did Aunt Sally put it in there when you were 10? Uncle Bob when you were 12? Who put these thoughts in your head? Movies, TV, media? What has this person so stressed and so anxious? So in their mind, and that would be the thing too. Get connected in with your heart, your dreams, your passions. Figure out the lessons you were meant to learn from the past. Bring down those old foundations. Gain insight and wisdom about why did those old relationships or foundations fall? Why were they unstable? Why have you felt unstable? Is it because of the world? Is it because of a foundation you are in? If that's a friend group, a professional group, your original family group, is it a relationship that you're in? Is your foundation the Ten of Pentacles where you're so enmeshed within it, you've lost your own sense of identity? So stressed and worried about what everyone else will say about your life. We don't control. Who knows why people get a crazy hair to decide what they think. They deem you unworthy, they deem you worthy. It's a flip of a coin. We have no idea why people make decisions they make. Not everybody's rational and reasonable. Not everybody's loving. Not everybody's compassionate or forgiving. If we let other people make decisions about us, we're so enmeshed within that foundation, we have lost our own sense of identity to make decisions for ourselves. Yeah, I bet you're really stressed. If everyone outside of you has power and control to decide the worthiness or the value of your foundation, yeah, that'd be stressful. Because who knows how much, what pills or drugs or drinks they've drank or in there, whatever. We don't even know what they think, and we don't need to know what they think. They can think whatever the heck they want to think about you every day. You determine your foundation. You determine your stability. But maybe it's the foundation they come from. Maybe that foundation needs to come down. And then you would be able to have your own foundation and feel very stable and abundant. If you make a decision to be held accountable for your past actions, and we're all fallible human beings, we've all made mistakes. Maybe before your unstable foundation was emotionally, I don't know, being very attached to money and materialism and stability. Maybe here when they went and decided to align with the kind of the Empress energy within themselves about, I want to look like I am a privileged person in society, and they're going to be emotionally manipulative to do it. And maybe part of that is because they backstab and betray their own Queen of Wands energy, which is Leo energy, which is being emotionally bold and confident and intuitive and willing to step into the spotlight of your own life. You're not doing it for pride and ego and status and image and building your ego off of how other people view you. You build your self-worth and value off of how you view you. But you have to be willing to step into your own life to do that. You can't be so afraid and stressed and worried of what everyone else is going to say. Some of these people might have ended a relationship with someone who's emotionally bold and confident, but they've chosen to be more in a relationship and aligned with this privileged lady aspect within themselves. Maybe they have a lot of stress and anxiety about the fact that if they go send a letter and declare that their truth is to be in a relationship with this aspect of themselves and people outside themselves that align with that aspect, maybe they fear what people are going to say, that they ended things with someone else. Or maybe, in their mind, they think they are supposed to be the privileged person. It's all about me. King of Swords, Libra energy, that can be, I'm the law, I'm the authority, I make the rules, I'm the privileged person in relationships. Because I don't dare take emotionally bold, creative action in my life. So I tend to be very controlling and dominating in relationships. And I try to get in relationships with people who will treat me like the privileged person because I have so much fear and insecurity of being backstabbed if I were to be fair and just in a relationship. Maybe. Regardless, it looks like some people are sending a message to align with that within themselves. They might have decided from their King of Swords energy that this is what makes the most just practical sense. It's the most logical thing. If I have a choice between two people, and if this person seems like if I'm with them and they're surrounded by luxuries in life and I could be surrounded by luxuries in life, then it relieves a lot of my stress and anxiety. Because if I move forward with the other person, maybe it would be stable and abundant and they're nurturing, but that type of person wants me to do other things that I'm unwilling to do. I like to hide within. I don't like my foundation to have to be held accountable for its actions. I don't like people to judge me. And if they've kind of been bossy and controlling or emotionally manipulative or feel they should be the privileged person in a relationship out of their own fear and insecurity, well, they don't want people to know that. So I guess they'll just keep staying where they're at until they do decide that they are willing to do that. Till it gets miserable enough, until their foundation's so unstable they can't take it anymore. But right now, they might not be willing to bring down their old foundations and go within. So instead, they will bring a foundation on knowing their own worth and value, nurturing themselves, end a relationship with people who are nurturing and loving, emotionally bold and confident, maybe very stable, that they could have a very stable relationship with. But in order to be with them, they might have to communicate about why a foundation ended, if it ended already. Maybe they hid before that they were very materialistic, maybe, and they had made a decision that they wanted to focus more on money and materialism by maybe getting in a relationship with a privileged person who seems to be surrounded by luxury. And maybe some of them have just decided, I don't know, they never wanted that anyway, for all I know, and it was all about, this is it. There was no other truth. Well, they're defensive to the truth. But this is their life. That's what they want. If that's what they want, that's what they can have. I'm just saying, not everyone had any torn dilemma about it. Some people don't. It's like, that's what I want. That's my life. I'm just kind of maybe worried about what other people will say, that I ended things maybe with someone else that I could have moved forward with. And this person could have been a marriage partner, being a Queen of Pentacles. They don't want people to view them as somebody who gets in relationships for surrounded by luxury in life. But, and really everybody's got to do what they do. Some people do it out of pure selfishness. Some people really have some fears and insecurities or something about stability and success, or stability and wealth. And, if it's maybe like being afraid of spiders, who knows? We just have to realize, wouldn't everybody move forward in a loving, creative, inspired way if they could? There's fears, there's insecurities, there's pride, there's ego, whatever it is, we don't really know. But the universe wanted to let you positive people know that they have it. And for some of you positive people, maybe, for now, this person, if they haven't learned how to love themselves, they might be they want to be a privileged person in the relationship because they need someone to love them, enable them. And as long as they can find people who are willing to enable their fear, their insecurity, maybe their bossiness, their controllingness, then hey, everybody's got free will. Maybe some of you weren't willing to do that anymore. You were in a relationship with someone like this. But when you're in a relationship with someone out of balance, you have to keep giving to them and enabling them. You don't get a fair and just balanced relationship with equal give and take because this person's down in their fear or their ego or their pride. They don't offer themselves the love and compassion they need to get themselves balanced. So, maybe you got tired of enabling it. Maybe it got worse with time because they kept being more fearful that you'd leave. So afraid they're going to get backstabbed. People got a lot of fear and insecurities in the world. Let's see. If you were dealing with someone like this, you maybe communicated to them that, you'd risen above your own inner conflict and your own competitive nature in the world, and you are going to stand up for yourself in truth. And part of the truth is that you deserve to be in loving, kind, just relationships. You want both of you to give birth to a new way of life. You dreamed of people coming from that youthful, believing, loving energy where people stood in their truth and power and spoke their truth. Where people, you wanted probably some people to give a lot of thought to putting an end to being emotionally manipulative. Instead, you want people to take emotionally bold, confident action in their life, where people move forward and bring down those old foundations and go within and gain insight and wisdom, where their foundation makes a decision. We are going to nurture and grow ourselves and nurture and grow each other into our fullest potential. And this person maybe had a lot of concern about it because of the foundation they work from or the community they're a part of. And who knows, the whole thing could have went to court and they were left in despair. You know, a love connection offered them a gift. But because of their own shadow side, their fear, their insecurity, their ego, they decided to change their foundation, maybe of poverty, to focus on money and materialism within their foundation. And they were willing to let the relationship go rather than change. They're the privileged person. And if there was someone outside this relationship that they felt they could go get in a relationship with that either would provide them with the luxury or provide them with them being the privileged person, they went to offer their emotions to that dream they've always had, because their mind is very stressed and defensive about maybe moving forward in a relationship where they'd have to be more emotionally out there, and they're so afraid of being backstabbed because they don't have the emotional foundation within themselves to withstand that. So, you know, it's kind of like putting somebody out in cold weather, but they haven't learned how to put on socks and clothes and boots and hats and gloves. They do not know how to equip themselves for an emotionally bold, confident relationship. So, in one sense, I think we could feel compassion for them. But the whole thing is, you know, until they have learned that, you can't be back in a relationship with them, or it's going to just be the same old thing. They have to learn how to put on their own gloves and socks and snow clothes to go out in the snow. You know, if you're going to go be in a relationship, you have to learn how to be emotionally connected in with yourself. There is some people here if anybody, you know, people repeat this cycle over and over and over until they learn their lessons. If anybody here did learn their lessons, for this person to get out of it, people who are in shadowy Aquarius energy, they realize that it's a sickly way to live. It's an unhealthy way to live. You know, exchanging resources with people and creating an illusion that you're kind of putting in work and effort. But maybe you're very defensive and guarded, but you're creating the illusion that you're putting in work and effort. And some people, they're putting in work and effort because they're just focused on money and materialism and stability. Other people get in relationships and just create illusion that it's equal give and take and they're putting in work and effort. But they're creating an illusion because they really don't trust love and have hope and faith and belief. But for the people who realize they can't keep doing this, that they need to have more balance in their life, that they need to start putting in the work and effort and start to believe they do have all the elements to begin to manifest their life, which they do. We all do. We've got a mind, we've got a heart, we have some dreams, we have some passion, we have some creativity, we have time and effort. For the people who finally rise above their own inner conflict and maybe their own competitive nature in the world about looking like the privileged person. Some of those people would kind of get the message of the truth. And they would decide in the Ten of Swords to put an end to their privileged lady aspect. That instead of their dreams always being the way that they were in the past, and we just keep repeating the same old pattern, it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta offer myself some love. I can't keep doing this. It is so backstabbing and stressful and betraying to try to control everything. So I'm the privileged person in the relationship because I'm so afraid of being hurt or being backstabbed and all my fears and insecurities or blah, blah, that they finally decide to offer themselves some love to their dreams. Can we add love to the dream? Can we make a decision and have a vision for our life that's more just and fair and balanced? Not so emotionally cold, perhaps. Perfect. I'm going to give a lot of thought to how to finally put an end once and for all to this aspect of myself that's either worried about how the world perceives me or kind of being controlling in relationships. And I'm going to connect in with my emotions, and I'm going to take some emotionally bold, confident, intuitive action in my life. And I'm just going to be a regular old folk person with emotions in the world. Don't have to look like someone special and fancy, because it really shouldn't be about that if you're just living your own life. And they finally have went within, or they are going to offer some of their time, energy, and effort to take some creative action with youthful hope and belief about this unstable foundation they have. And in the Virgo Earth sign energy, they're going to go within to gain some insight and wisdom. You know, what is it about this foundation exactly? We got smoke coming out here, the lid popped off, we got fires coming out the window, people jumping out. What is going on? And maybe when they see that, hopefully they'd see that in order to have true stability in their life, they have to make a decision to emotionally connect in with their world and themselves and their own worth and value. You know, that they have golden opportunities in the palm of their hands that they could use to build their long-term stability and success. And part of that is learning these lessons that we were meant to learn from the past and move forward. And again, maybe worried about if the people will judge you or what foundation you're going to operate from within your own mind. Who cares about what the people outside talk about behind closed doors? Like as if we're the center of attention and we're who they talk about. And if we do, well, that's sad because they have their own life they could be manifesting and they're wasting time talking about other people. So hopefully this maybe could be concerned about what other people are talking about behind closed doors, but hopefully they're more concerned about their own foundation, and they need to give some thought and attention to their own foundation that they're operating from. And they might have to really take it to court within their own belief system. You know, it's kind of like we got all these rules and regulations in our head in the Hierophant energy of what is right, what is wrong, what is valuable, what is not valuable, what is important to me, what is not important to me, what is it about me that is valuable, and what about me is less valuable. You know, some people put status and image as like the most important thing about them. Wow, that's not giving yourself much value. How about that you're loving and you're kind and you're compassionate? Your image, your status? Ugh. because the belief system they have had about themselves and how they perceive themselves in the world has left them in despair. Maybe they got in a love connection because a false person offered them a gift where their main aspect of presenting themselves could change if they exchange foundations of that they felt was lacking in order to be wealthy. And it's the same thing they need to do to come out of this. They need to change foundations, what they've been living in, and that's the irony of the world. What the world said would bring you great wealth and abundance might have brought you money, but it left you in poverty, spiritually and emotionally. Your heart was like dead. And it led to despair. So the ironic thing is that you need to exchange foundations. Unbeknownst to you, what you picked was disguise, because that's what the shadow does. It's like the devil whispering in our ear. It presents an illusion that we can have everything we want. Our life will be great. Indulge yourself in all these things. You don't have to have self-discipline. You don't have to get emotionally balanced. You don't have to go within and gain insight and wisdom or heal. But it's a lie. They presented like this, but they're like that inside. It's just a facade. Maybe the person they went and got in a relationship presented a facade too. So now they need to exchange resources again so that their foundation can get connected in with their inner youthful nature again. And it might be their inner youthful nature that wants to take it to court, because their inner youthful nature has been imprisoned and it has been waiting for this illusion to end so that they can dream of stepping into their own life and having the great fortune they deserve to have in their life, which is being the main emotional person in their own life. Loving and nurturing and kind to themselves, compassionate, forgiving, respectful of themselves, and believing in themselves. So, there we go, Aquarius energy. Some people definitely could come out of this. You might already be out of it, and you're just the one sitting over here concerned, because these might be children, parents, friends, neighbors, coworkers, someone you love. And you're concerned about them because you've already learned this lesson. In your Aquarius energy and in an energy of unconditional love, you've already seen things from the bigger picture, and it's hard to watch people keep repeating a past pattern. And we can't teach them. You can talk to your blue in your face, and until they see the truth of it, they're going to be defensive to your truth. You have to come to truth. We shut it off in layers. It's like peeling the layers off of our eyes of illusion of the world and what's valuable, or to truly see our own value, to see our own worth. And we can't make other people see that. They have to. That's why we learn by growing. And that's why we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves for the mistakes we make. Of course, sometimes if people are working from pride and ego or fear, living from their mind, if the most important thing people fear is what, being rejected, how amazingly much effort are they going to put into protecting themselves from being hurt? So they live from their mind, and they have fear, and they have insecurity, and they can be hurtful to other people because they're so afraid of being hurt, and they haven't emotionally built themselves up to withstand it. And until they see the truth of it and start to do the work to build themselves up emotionally, they're going to stay in this pattern. So, Aquarius, I have my quote calendar that's a flip calendar, and I just randomly flip it before the reading. And the one you got was, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." So, when you have figured out what is worth living for, you'll do almost anything to get there. It won't matter. You'll get there. And you hope these people get there. And just as we should hope everyone gets there, we need less people in the world that are defensive, who are emotionally cold and detached, who are in fear, who are emotionally manipulative. We need less people like that. So say a prayer. All right. I wish you all peace, love, and joy, Aquarius, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.